On okay, guys, I'm back. On February the 14th, 2000, after it passed 1999, the Pt2 was one of the Pt2 trains, which is the old version ones with the old door chimes. The train was making express stops on the Blue Line, which is the General Square line via the 33rd Street line, which is Hoboken 33rd Street. The Blue Line was making express stops. Driver name Michael Hudson was the driver of the Pt2 train on Express. He opened his cabin door. He checks the cars. His cars were 673, 142, 125, and 634. He gets prepared to go on the 673 car. He closes his cabin door. And they was getting ready to go. As the train left out of General Square to 33rd Street, which is Hoboken, the next stop was New York Road. The train was going 56 miles per hour as it was raining outside. Passengers was having quiet time talking to their friends, family inside the Pt2 train. They're reading their books for a little while, and some of them using their phones, tablet, text messaging, go on social media, and any kind of product and more stuff they were on. But the Pt2 train was in a not good condition on the track. They were almost at New York Road, a few meters away. At New York Road, it was a shuttle service, which is for the Blue Line, due to a train traffic that caused a train crash, which is the Pt2 train that derailed at the switch and it broke. But due to the maintenance people didn't arrive on time, the track was still damaged and the train was headed towards it, and it was all the way down there. The train slows down in the station, but then it overshuts the platform within the whole entire car. He announced that this train was still a little bit old due to the brakes issues. But due to the September 1 and 20, due to the September 11 attack that was about to happen soon on the September 11, they got prepared for the disaster. Michael Hudson was was got contact that the train track was still not fixed right, but he doesn't know which one. But as the train was getting passengers, which is with 101 passengers at the crowded rush hour, the train closes the doors. But one passenger hold the door and it got opened again and it closed again. The train left at New York Road and their next stop was Frame Street. But at Frame Street, they're going to bypass the station because they were express. He's going past Frame Street because he was express. But this train didn't went well since the September 11, and it's about to be September 11, and they got repaired. They passes Frame Street, and a few seconds away, the train switches onto another track. He snatched the emergency brakes, and it was too late to slam the emergency brakes. The whole entire path train crashes into the water. Passengers frantically trying to get out as the train was sinking. The train slowly loses power. A few seconds. The road sign turns off. And then the light got darker as it went on red. The driver of the train was a little bit conscious and he waked up and you see passengers screaming. The AC turned off and then seconds later the lights went out. As the train lights went out, passengers tried getting out the train. But the disaster was happening. The driver of the train finally opened his doors and it sank more. As the train was soaking wet inside the cars. Passengers come making out. 142 was sinking into death. And car number 125 and 634. The train was sunk into the ground. Later that time, almost all the passengers almost died after the accident, and it was too late to save the path train. On July 7, 2007, an R38 MTA train, which is the A train, was making express stops to Wash hits 8th Avenue Fulton, which is the 207th Street line. It was going from 207th Street to Fall Rockaway. The train was also making express stops or it could go to. It goes to Howard Beach or something. Oh, Rockaway Park. As the R38 was getting prepared to leave soon. Oh, this can turn off. That's crazy. It can open. That's crazy. The train closes doors and prepares to leave. As the A express train left. It was 57 passengers on board the train. It says Union Turnpike. I'm so surprised I found Union Turnpike on this game. And World Trade Center. That's crazy. That's one of the PTA Fifth Avenue lines. Oh, I found 57th Street, 7th Avenue. Okay, this game is crazy. It's copying off the same games. Like, it's crazy. The next stop was 205th Street. They were arriving at 205th Street, which is the A Express train was going to stop at. I don't know what the A stops, but I do know a little bit though. As the train arrives. As it was dark, some stations was closed, which is Parkway Center and City Street. As passengers gets on the A Express train, the street Lucas R38 that got retired in 2009 and between 2008. As passengers frankly try to get on, as hard as they can before it gets too darky and they can't see, probably in the dark. The train left the station at 11:38 p.m. The A was making all skip stops now due to the stations was closing. The next stop was 80th Street, the Music Party History, which is the museum party history. As the train get in, the train slowly overshots the station due to the train station was too close. The train was overshot within 3 cars. They had to reverse the train back into the station, and it was running 1 hour. It was running 3 hours 50 seconds late. They were skipping stops and trying to hurry up. Because something was even worse going on. At the station, a whole crowd of passengers was running into the train for no reason. As he looked in, there was a gun shooter, and he closes the doors as quickly as possible and runs out of the station. As the A train rams out of the station at 11:40 p.m., the train was running 2 minutes 20 seconds late down the tracks. As the train rattles down the tracks, the next station was 80, which is 77th Street. but they had to pass it because they were skipping stops. As it was panicking, the switches automatically turns onto the other side track, leading the R38 onto the other track. Then it jumps the track at 56 miles per hour, skidding it down the tracks too fast, and the train jumps rattle down the tracks, and then it happens. The R38 train crashes. As the train ripped off the R38, then two cars in the middle jumped the tracks and flipped over on the side, killing all passengers in the car. The first and fourth cars was off the rails, but still not upright after the damage. The train was started to leaking out flames out of the train. Passengers really trying to get out and get out the train. But there was no time. The driver was passed out and later at the hospital was dead, which is my cousin. They budged the doors open in the front of the train as quickly as possible and jumped out of the train. They got inside the cabin train and made the driver and pulled the driver out of the train and opened all doors. The lights was all broken and all lights was all on, like a scary movie with all these red lights. At 11:45, the train crashes. It was too little too late. At 11:55, emergency services came. Even a worker train came. Emergency responders came onto the rescue. The rescue and tried to save the injured passengers, which is 43 died and 23 injured, and 10 still alive after the accident, but now it's 15 though. After the train was getting slightly removed, the tracks on the A line was getting repaired. They added the switches to be on the other side. The switch leads onto this track right here that I'm staying on and goes around. But this didn't went well either. Thanks to happened to the other train. And Staten Island Railway train, which is the R44 that ran in 1986 and 1987, which is the old train, which is the R44 that got retired in 2010, which is the express train. It was going from Point Lockout to Street George, which is the express train. Driver named John Williams was the conductor of the train. He turns cabin on and opened the cabin door and tried to see. He fixes the train lights real quick before leaving and the Street George Express sign because due to the train kept breaking a lot, they checked the whole car for any emergencies going on. the Street George Lewis car. I'll be seeing a lot of blue seats on the Fifth Avenue lines R46. There's train car number 403 and 449. You can tell by these small doors over there, those are old. They removed them in the R44s on the A lines and all that. He gets back in his train and at 7:05 a.m. in the morning, the train was getting prepared to go. He turned his cabin light off and turned his sign on, and he was getting prepared to leave the station. He left Point Lockout Station at 7:08 a.m. The Street George Express. The next destination was Graveland Street, which is a free transfer to the local train still. And they're going to pass rest of the stations until they go to Nemo Street, because it was express. And all local trains, that don't have the express, with no local, which is blue, that means the blue is local. The train was going 56 miles per hour down the tracks. As he crosses the Staten Island Railway Bridge, the train arrived at Graveland Street, where the express and local trains will be at, and in New York City bus services. They arrived at the station at 7:15 a.m. At Lido Beach, which is a different kind of station, what else called, but yeah. Passengers get off and up on the train. They got on the warm train, cozy, on this December 16, 2020, which is the Staten Island train. It's not even 2020, but yeah, I'm just gonna say it though. I can see this hole that I've been recognized for like a week now. He goes near the window trying to see passengers getting on and off. And it was clear the passengers get on. The train closes the doors and left the station. Dispatcher of the Staten Island Railway train was controlling it. He was telling the driver name. I just gonna call it John because I keep forgetting names. Telling John that these stations are a little bit new, and he called out that some switches may have problems. But he sees another problem. He slams the brakes too hard, and it was too late. Too late. The train crashes into the water, slamming his head and man unconscious as the train floods into the flooded area where the track fell dead. The all 44 began to flood and losing AC, and then losing the road sign and lights. The lights turned off and the train was stuck. Passengers tried getting out of the front-lit train that was stuck. But the train was still stuck. The budge opened one of the front doors and gets out as quickly as possible. They open the front door of the train and let them in, but it makes it worse. So everyone hurries up into the water and get out. The train slowly got flooded. As passengers passes out and dies from it. The train even got worse. The train was about to flood over. The whole entire train flooded it. As the Street Joyous Express train crashes into the water. I'm trying to get out of this water, though. And then the whole entire train was going into the water. After those disaster strikes, the train was flooded. And I keep giving me these long R44s. What? I'm about to get annoyed because they keep on spawning over here. Please quit it. I thought I'd do this anyway. Bay 3 or something? I don't know. Ooh, I can go under it. This train's being real stupid. I had like a 4-car train before. There we go, 3-car. On the 16th of July, 2006, an R44, which is the shuttle train to Prospect Park, was made express stops. I mean, not express stops, making all shuttle stops. But fortunately, the train was on the wrong track due to the track maintenance problem on the bridge that collapsed into the water. But they had to skip some stops due to the maintenance on the stations. The train was going 56 miles per hour down the tracks. As the R44 roams down the tracks, that's the shuttle. Yo, I found the 2-digit numbers again. The same thing as the PTA 5445 with 2 5s, 2 4s. The train switches onto another track, then stops at Nebo Bridge Station for bus services. The train a little bit overshot the station, but it had to be reversed back to the station. Passengers get on the train as hurry they can because it was a rainy day on a shuttle train. At 11:51, the train closes the doors. As it wasn't dark outside, but still a little bit. At 11:51 p.m., the train left the station. Is this sand? Cause it looks like it flooded water over the sand. Then they stopped at they stopped at Beach 115th Street. But again, due to the station was near them, they had to reverse the train again. But the driver named Lewis did not listen. Instead, still goes forward. He was looking back, but he realized he was going the wrong track. He slams the emergency brakes and then disasters. The R44 crashes into the water and loses AC and the road sign to get turned off. The train kept moving forward as passengers hold on as 2 cars jumped the tracks and then both of them. The third car was hanging on for his dear life, tries to hold on as passengers panic to hold on as two cars derail as the 3 cars jump the tracks. The brakes hold on for a while as the train was shaking. In the water, it was cold and freezing. The lights shut off and it got so dark inside the train that the road signs started to mismatch, going out of control causing the train to have a broken sign in the train system. The train was turned to a wide train, and the train was still broken. As the train got turned into a July 13, 2005 thingy, as the train started breaking. The Forest Hill 71st Street V train from the Lower East Side. What? The old K train, the old H line. Yeah, it definitely went. Man. 2005 programs. In 2005, these are the old R44s with the H and K lines. That's why they still have the all these old signs. But yeah. As they called 911 to get help. As the doors weren't budged open and it was firmly stuck and lodged into the doors. The driver passed out and got unconscious, and the water was going towards his neck, back down to his stomach, and back up and down. He opened his cabin door and finally trying to get out, but it was the doors. When he pressed the doors, it couldn't open. The passengers tried to open the door, but it was so wet and it was cold. So they opened the front storm door. The passengers got out the train. In the third car, passengers couldn't because the door was low and it could hit them, and it made the train move. Again, the roll signs malfunction into the L. As it turned into the L again, go on both sides. Passengers tried to hold on inside the train as it was 56 passengers on board. 43 died, 15 injured, and some of them still alive in the passenger cars trying to survive. The emergencies came, but it was about to be too late. The train forward mode got activated inside the car when the water damages the battery, and the train moved again. The passengers hold on as the train was moving, and then the third car, which is the last car, was moving again. Seconds later, it stops. Passengers finally trying to get out. The bridges came quickly as possible. But the train kept moving. Bella, what are you doing? What are you doing on my bed, jumping on my bed? You smell so good. Bella, you better chill out about that right now. As the train kept getting worse, passing. Bella, what are you doing? What's wrong? You love me. You love sushi. We love sushi. Cause his breath is smelling like cat food. As everything finally stops, it was so cold that the emergency trains and the other trains came for the passengers. At the disasters, the R-44 later got retired, and then seconds later, the train, as the emergencies came in, the train flips over on the site and smashes all the passengers, making them die. And now almost the whole entire train was falling into emergency. The train jumps onto the water and crashes. Passengers jumps hurry up as the car was hanging on. The wheel breaks off of the R-44 and tries to hold it on as fast as they can before the train crashes into the water even more. As 54 as 5450 as 5443 car was about to get its last push into the water, as the second car got pushed into the water. Passengers hold on and the driver tries to save the rescue passengers. He climbs into and gets into the water, goes to 5473 car. He opens all the doors and tries to escape. The train all lost power as the train, all emergency and helicopters came, and passengers jump onto the train tracks as hard as they can. Later that day, the train was removed and scrapped and then replaced by the R-44s. After that day, the train was so damaged. The last train, which is the Pt2, was making its final run due to the September 11 attack. From Freeport to Point Lockout. This time the train was non-service, but it was a special train as passengers got one. The train was a red line, and they changed it to the yellow, and they changed it to the green. The train was the Hoboken World Train Center train, but they had to pass it because it was damaged due to the September 11 attack. As the cars was 72, 2, and 157 and 714, which is 722, 157, and 714 cars. They were bypassing stations as the Super Express train. Guess the last train was gonna be scrapped forever. The next stop was 85th and Markson Street. As they pass River, as they pass 56 and Morrison Street. He passes 56 and Morrison Street on the Pt2 train. But a few seconds later, due to the September 11th attack, the train could have got switched onto the other track. But the train was still going. They were almost at 56th Street and Morrison Street. As the train was heading down the tracks. As the train was a few minutes away from New York. I finally get to see one train. That's which is the OR 38. At 12:05, the train was still going down the tracks, almost to the yard, which is 86. Their last stop was 56 and Morrison Street. They were almost at the yard. But disaster strikes was about to lay here as soon as they get to the station. As the driver couldn't slow down, his brakes malfunctioned as the train was still going down the tracks full speed. The train switches onto the another track. He blows the horn and slams the emergency brakes, and then disaster strikes. All three cars jumped the tracks and derailed into the bumper and crashed into it. All passengers inside the train and driver both died. Thank you guys for watching this train crash.